Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I just want to kind of give you a quick introduction to using your Google Jamboard within Google Meet. So once you're in your meeting with your students, down here on the bottom right, we're going to click the three little dots and then click Open Jam. Now when that happens, you're going to click either Choose from Drive or Start a New Whiteboard. So if you haven't made a jam that you want to use with your students yet, obviously we're going to click Start a New Whiteboard. Now when you do that, what's going to happen is another box is going to pop up and it's going to ask you, it's going to have the list of all the students in there. And like, so if you have 30, instead of saying 1 right here, it'll say 30. And then you can give the option to them to either view it or edit it. I almost always do edit, and I'm going to show you why in a second. I'm going to click Send. A new window pops up, which is the jam. Okay, it's a pretty simple interface. If you want to have multiple pages in it, you can just click this little arrow up here at the top right, and then you'll have multiple pages. So you'll see I have one of 2 now. If I click it again, I've got 3 pages open. And you can also click the little down arrow to open up everything that you have going on. So let's say I'm on page number 1. What I use this for a lot in my class is for writing down warm-ups or answering questions or doing crossword puzzles. I'll kind of show you how I do those things right now. So let's say I have a document open. Let me open one for you really quick. So this is a list of some warm-ups that we do in one of my classes. So let's say we're doing this one right here, number 2, and I want to do that on the Jamboard. What I like to do is take a screenshot of just that spot. If you're on a Chromebook or a Chrome base, all you have to do is hit Control-Shift, and then the button that's right above the 6 and 7 that has a box with 2 lines next to it, and you can select an area. So like, let's just say I want to do 1 through 10. I'm going to click like that. Now it's saved that image to my computer. So I'm going to go back over to my jam, which is right here. And then on the left menu bar over here, I'm going to click the little picture add image button, select from my device, and then it happens to be the most recent one right here on my computer, so I'll click open. And then I'll resize this so it's a little bit bigger. So what I have to do, what the students do, is they'll come in here and they can either hand write with the pen tool, they can write like that, or if they want to, since this one works pretty well with it, they can click the text box tool down here and they can write their answer in that way. The only downside to giving your students access to the jam is that they can all edit it like this. So occasionally we'll have students accidentally move the image, or on purpose sometimes. You can always move it back. So that's how I do warm up some time with these text activities. You can also, if you want to, use this sticky note feature. So maybe you want to post a question in there. So maybe like, what'd you get to eat today? You know, and then you could have the students could then create their own sticky notes with that sticky note button and put answers in there. The other way that I really like to use my Jamboard is for crossword puzzles. So let's take a look at how you can do that. Okay, so here's an example of a crossword puzzle that I might give my students. So again, what I'll do is I'll do the select an area of the crossword puzzle. Obviously, I'm going to choose it when it's not filled out. And then I'm going to copy that. Let's go jump on back over to the Jamboard that I'm working on. Let's just go over to the second slide here. So what I'm going to do is do the picture again. Okay, and then I've got my crossword puzzle on there. Now it's kind of hard to write sometimes on these crossword puzzles, just because like when you're writing out little letters like this, sometimes it can get kind of sloppy. If you have a touch screen, it might make it a little bit easier, but tell your students to use the zoom feature right here. So like let's zoom into 100% or even 200%, and then it's a lot easier. I can, you know, write like this if I want to. This isn't the answer, but it's a lot easier to write when you zoom in like that. And let me show you what a finished crossword puzzle looks like on here, because what happens with these jams is they're automatically saved to your Google Drive. And also they'll be saved to the student's Google Drive because you've given them editing or rights to see the document. Now, even if you give them a view, they can still see it in their Google Drive later. So this is an example of a warm-up we did earlier today in my Spanish 3 class. Again, this was saved to my Google Drive. I didn't have to keep this tab open. And then I have an example also of if I jump on into my Google Drive, the jams just kind of show up here in the recent category. So let's see, I think I did one in this class today. Yeah, it's still loading. Give it a second. Okay, so you can see that this is a crossword puzzle. I got kind of sloppy on this one, but all of the answers are put in there. I even asked them a question over here on the right, as you can see. And then some of the students answered that here as well. I also put in the clues to the crossword puzzle when I first put in the crossword puzzle itself. And it's saved. So any of the students that are in there, they have this in their Google Drive. They can reference it later if they want to. There are other things that you can do with the Google Drive. I suggest you just kind of play around with it and have fun with it. Check it out. And if you have any questions about the crossword puzzles or putting images in your drive, let me know in the chat. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Hasta luego.